Council's order. I expect Ms. Hahn and Mr. Zine shortly, but we're going to move forward as we have a very short agenda. Item number one.
Item number one is the CAO report relative to the Department of Empowerment's proposal to the Board of Neighborhood Commissioners to jointly support a public information officer position in the Planning Department and other related matters.
Good morning, Councilmember Delilah Pucha, CAO. This information was presented last May by the General Manager to the Board of Neighborhood Commissioners to have neighborhood councils jointly support for a public information officer. Since then, the Commission has not taken status.
Bang Wen Kim, General Manager for the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment, and that is correct. The Board of Neighborhood Commissioners has not taken up this matter.
Okay, I assume that if there's need for the function of a public information officer, that can be absorbed with the new responsibilities of the department that exclude the election process. So maybe you can figure something out to get the benefit of it, or maybe you don't need it at all.
If the need comes for the department to need a public information officer, we could always look that into the budget, and if they identify funds, activate a sub-authority if that need arises.
Right, that's what I would expect. So the action on this would be to
Note and file the CAO report.
that would be my recommendation. Item number two.
Item number two is a Chief Legislative Analyst and President's Joint Commission of Los Angeles Unified School District's governance reports relative to the Commission's final report. Darrell Powell with the CLA's office. The CLA's office was asked to look at the Joint Commission's report and to report back on how those recommendations could be implemented, all 54. We have identified 8 key recommendations that the report makes that incorporates all 54 final recommendations. It's our conclusion that the essence of the final report is that the LASD should be decentralized and that the LAUSD board should initiate a school-based system of education. The Commission's recommendations affecting policies and procedures could be implemented by the LAUSD board without changes in their state laws or the city charter. The remaining recommendations have not been implemented because of their impact on LAUSD policies. What I should explain is that when we did this report back in 2007, I met with LAUSD and went over all those recommendations and they indicated to me where they were with many of the recommendations. A lot of them have been implemented, and that some have not due to policy issues. We are recommending that we work with the CCYF to go back and update those recommendations.
30 days good?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, we'd like to come back in 30 days and also weigh in a little bit and see what else we might be able to come up with.
Okay.
But some of the, as you said, some of the recommendations have already been implemented. Some of the recommendations are no longer necessary, and some of the direction of the district, clearly with the mayor's involvement, has been changed. So
Yes.
if we could dust it up a little bit and come up with an update in 30 days, that would be great.
Okay.
That
Yes,
would
sir.
be my recommendation.
Thank
We have
you.
no cards? Still? Okay. Item number three.
Item number 3 is a motion, Gruel, Reyes, Zine, relative to the Commission on Children, Youth, and their Families reporting on the status of the Safety Valet Program, a plan to prioritize expanding the program, and the cost of expanding the program. This item has also been referred to the Transportation Committee.
Good morning. Jamiko Bell, Director of Community Youth Partnerships for the Commission for Children, Youth, and their Families. The Safety Valet Program has actually been, as you know, it was a grant-funded program for 2 years. The grant has ended at the end of 2007. We've actually taken the Safety Valet Program and folded it in under the Kid Watch program, which was also transferred to our department July 1st of this fiscal year. We are in the process of expanding the program. We've already extended Kid Watch with Safety Valet as one of the major components into 150 schools, which is 3 times as many as were transferred to us, which was 50 schools. the program, we actually have a very extensive expansion program that's based strategically in communities where there's the greatest need for safety and for these types of programs.
How do you
And
determine that?
we're using the safety indicators for children, the same ones that are being used by the mayor's office when determining the gang reduction zones, and also some of the partnership schools. We're using that baseline data as well, and finding that it's actually mostly the same schools, so we're targeting those.
What about traffic safety?
Traffic safety, we're working with LADOT to make sure that we're not missing any, but for the most part, it's the same overlap.
I'm sorry, what did you say about DOT?
I said we're working with LADOT, looking at their traffic safety data, and we've worked with them in the past. That's how we were able to work and expand the Safety Valet program using the DOT data. We also are working with state and federal agencies as we apply for grants to extend the program as well, and looking at state and federal traffic
The
safety.
Kid Watch program is driven largely by violence.
The previous program was,
Opposed
yes.
to the valet program, which is driven by traffic safety.
Correct. The previous program, as it was under the city attorney's office, was driven by violence. Our program now actually has three main components. One is Safety Valet, which focuses on traffic safety. One is Kid Watch Guardian, which is basically what we've transformed the city attorney's program into, which deals with neighborhood safety and those issues. And it's very similar to the program that the city attorney ran. And then there's a third piece called the Walking School Bus, which has to do with sort of neighborhood safety and community safety, and also it has a health aspect in terms of getting children walking and physical activity. So Kid Watch actually now has three very distinct pieces that actually worked well together.
I understand this report was, let's see. Councilmember Gruhl has requested that we ask that we update the program.
Hmm.
Let's see, any program is going to long-term goals. Is there a need to update the report?
Yes, the report is actually quite old, and the program is completely different now than it, well, the Safety Valet is exactly the same, but the fact that it's been folded into Kid Watch and it's now part of a comprehensive strategy is an update and is very different. We're actually preparing to go out to all of the council offices and city departments with the new Kid Watch program, and that's actually going to be unveiled in about a month or so. We're going to be making stops at all the offices.
Okay, one of my pet peeves is speed humps around schools. I believe that every school and every park that has a residential street should have speed humps. I'm sure there's some exceptions to that, but I would be interested if you could take a look at the speed hump program to see
Okay.
if your program can identify priority schools for the speed hump program.
Okay.
I always tell the story how my grandfather spent his, the last 20 years watching the kids play across the street and collecting all the balls. My dad probably still, well, there are probably still some of those balls at my dad's house, but he used to throw most of them back. The other ones he would paint to disguise and give them to us, I admit, but he used to watch. The point I'm trying to make is every day balls would fly over the fence and the kids would cross the street getting the balls. And so I really think a speed hump program around all schools is absolutely necessary. What I'd like to do is ask you to come back in 45 days with an update on this report. It's double referred to the Transportation Committee, so we'll come back to this committee and then send it over to the Transportation Committee when you have an opportunity to update the report. So if that's okay,
That's fine.
that's what we'll do. Any cards? Any other speakers? We're done. I don't think we have a need to wait for Mr. Hahn or Zine, Mr. Zine and Ms. Hahn. So we'll just adjourn the meeting with that being the order of the day. Pardon me?
Some of these need to go forward as communications from the chair.
Do they need to go? No, because they're just,
Could just
they're coming back to this committee. There was one note and file. Does that have to go forward?
No, the file does.
Right.
Okay, then we'll,
Yeah. It's no big, just
That's
number
no
one.
problem.
yeah, we'll send a communication
Okay.
from me.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good.